Hi everyone, this is Betsy Pelan and Mike Pelan, and since it's Awareness Month and we're doing some video stories of our HIE experiences, we thought we'd pop on and co-present this. Yes. So our son Max was born almost 7 years ago on Tuesday. And I had felt his movements change the week before he was born. And then I was doing kick counts because they suggested it, and he failed and was not moving at all. And he felt floppy, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. So we were just kind of...
You're like, well, may as well.
Guess we'll just go get checked out.
We've been packed for 2 or 3 months to go to the hospital thinking, okay, we'll go in and they'll send us home. But clearly that wasn't the case.
So I was 37 weeks pregnant and he just stopped moving. So we went in and I had an emergency C-section, and I was awake for it, which was nice because I had a panic attack, and that anxiety caused his heart to keep fluctuating like they wanted, so it bought more time. So
one of the positives out of a panic attack.
Yeah. The adrenaline was good for him. So the anesthesiologist, I remember, obviously I was really freaked out, and he was calming me down. He's like, we have time. We don't have to put you under. So Max wasn't pre-breathing when they did the ultrasound and everything, and his heart rate wasn't variable. So that's why they decided to perform the emergency C-section. So they knew that when he was coming out that he was going to be needing to be intubated right away. So he let out a little cry, and then he was immediately intubated and then whisked away. They closed me up. And then the neonatologist came and met with us and said, hey, we think your kiddo needs to be transferred downtown because you're at a community-based hospital. That's a part of a bigger network in Detroit called Henry Ford Health System. And so we had Max transferred downtown to get the cooling protocol. And Mike followed the ambulance. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I shouldn't say I followed the ambulance. They told me strictly not to follow the ambulance because they were going under lights and sirens at 100 miles an hour.
But I really sick.
Did follow once they left to go downtown and meet him there. But we got to see him in his little lunar module.
Yeah, isolate.
Transfer out isolate. And saw him off into the ambulance, and then proceeded downtown to where he was placed in the NICU for cooling.
And then I was transferred downtown. They had a bed for me, which was really nice. So we spent almost 3 weeks there, and he was really, really, really sick and almost crashed out when we first got down, and then went through cooling and was rewarmed. His EEG was pretty much flat during cooling because of all the sedatives and barbiturates and all of that fun stuff. And then he came out of cooling and started, kind of waking up a little bit more. Had our MRI. MRI day was the worst day of our lives. Yeah. Pretty wretchedly awful. And, they told us all the what ifs and that it would be a wait and see. And that began our journey with HIE, really. So once we got home, I ran to Google to find other people because they could not find anyone for us to connect to, and found Hope for HIE, and got connected and have been a part of it ever since. In 2012, there were about 200 families at the time, and now we have about 4,500 families a part of the main forum, which is really amazing to see so many people connecting. It's always bittersweet, but it's, it's one of those things where we know that there's even more families that need to connect. So we work really hard to, spread awareness. Max, over the years, he has spastic diplegic cerebral palsy and a mild vision impairment. He is in first grade, and he's rocking out, right? Mm-hmm. Rocking out. So what seemed terrifying in the beginning, is just our normal every day. Max has been in PT and OT since he was 6 months old. He was in early intervention. He's in outpatient therapy. He's in school-based therapy.
All the therapies.
All the therapies. But he is a happy dude. He, has a little sister. So we added under our family 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. And he's in baseball and wants to try golf. Loves superheroes. He loves superheroes.
And Legos. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. And fishing and all sorts of stuff. So, life with HIE for us, I mean, we were, pretty much felt very alone in the NICU, like many people. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And, for me, I wanted to get more involved to ensure that no family felt like we did and wasn't connected to anyone, because it's terrifying. And, we are just living our lives, doing what we do. So, there's a wild range of outcomes out there. And I think what I love seeing, the stories in our group, in our organization, is the common theme of connection. And that's where people find their hope. Because we can't control outcomes as much as we'd love to. A lot of things are a roll of the dice. And, you just try to give your kiddos the best life and the best chance that they can to reach their own potential. Any other thoughts?
Absolutely. That's it.
All right. So that's our little story for HIE Awareness Month. And yeah, go Hope.
Oh.